Mike Wheeler, what are they doing about the TV situation? Wouldn't we all like to know?
I think that's like every markets, or most markets, if you're not New York or whatever, are going through this. I think
Or
it's
Dallas.
Dallas is a very interesting approach, which I think teams like the Wild could look into, right? Because it's important to find ways, especially with the fan base the way that Minnesota has, to connect with them and to continue that strength. If they want to build the ticket holding base like that's been the last couple of years to when they can be a contender, having that ability to connect over the TV or streaming is so important. So they have been going over different kind of options for TV. I don't know if there's one specific one set in stone quite yet, but I think that every single organization, not just in hockey, but other sports, the Twins are going through, other teams are going through it. They need to find a plan B and there's so many different ways now you can do it versus back in the day, right? There's so many different streaming options and ways you can go direct to consumer, and you can make a little money doing it too. Because make no mistake, like the RSNs, as a pain in the ass that they've been the last few years, are a huge revenue stream for these teams, right? So you have to find a way if you're the NHL team to make money still by doing it versus getting the $15-20 million a year from the RSNs for those rights. So it's one thing to connect the consumer in one way. Another thing is if you're doing that from a team perspective, you have to pay for all that stuff and be the infrastructure for it and handle that versus having a balance or whatever. So and I'm sure like just like the other teams, the Wild are going through that process, and I think most people hope that they can continue with the relationship with Bally's and such, but you have to be prepared for the other side of it too.
And I mean, speaking for myself and some of the fans I know, does not need to be something that's a free offering by any means. If there was just one place where you could watch all the Wild games, people will gladly pay a subscription for it, and you can sell ad revenue off of that too. Like if you know people are showing up there and it's not like cable or bouncing around, hey, where do I watch this week? Is it NHL Network? Is it TNT? Is it, on ESPN Plus? Is it on Bally? Like you're going to have a very set audience, and you can probably do pretty well with ad revenue. Now, does it make up the 15 to 20 million like you talked about, especially after covering the infrastructure? Who knows? But there's definitely something there that can be done. It's just, can they get it quite to the point where it makes financial sense?
Yeah, and you have more control over that stuff too, right? You have more control of the ads that you have and that kind of thing if you have it from your direct-to-consumer product. But you're right. I think people would pay for subscriptions for that. Absolutely.